People are wondering why I complain so much about the traffic in Brockton, Massachusetts. Well, here is a case in point of just how wrong so many people can be at once. This occurred yesterday, and it's on a busy street. You've got double parked cars, as you can see, and you've got probably drunks exiting a bar and possible other inebriants driving up the street. And we'll roll the footage. If they would get on with it. Okay, you're gonna see three exit, four exiting together. See the one in the front? He gets across. I don't even know how the other guy didn't get hit. And they're just standing there like, well, you did owe me $50. Then looks like three girls run out. But nowhere in this article on this ghetto website, enterprisenews.com, which used to be located in Brockton, they're no longer located in Brockton. They are one of these satellite cities, or newspapers that like to come here and make fun of it or whatever. Fine, but nowhere did they point out. The title should have been 4 jaywalkers get hit, or 1 out of 4 jaywalkers get hit. Nowhere do you see them use that little advice most children were given. Before you cross the street, look both ways. You do not see any crosswalk right there. Now, this is a nanny state, in a nanny city, and to a certain degree, they will put a crosswalk in there, right there, in between the two cars. They will probably paint over the cars. Some of the crosswalk will be on the hood of those cars, in the rear of the car, but they'll put it in. Now, I'm not saying the driver was right by just creaming right through, but come on, they were doing nothing to protect themselves. It is nighttime, based on this video, which says, oh yeah, look what time it is. This is not Pacific time. Even if it was, it's still well after being able to see the average hoodie at night. I have no idea what kind of hoodies these were crossing the street, but it's 1:41 a.m. So you're out. Actually, at that time, there's hardly any traffic in the road. You should easily be able to cross the street in this city. Based on my experience at that time, even though it was we're talking about Thanksgiving, right? The day after. And you should be able to cross that street. But you can't cross that street until you look both ways. The driver was supposed to stop, but he could have been drunk too or something. So he didn't want to get caught with whatever he's doing wrong. And he might not just get away with it. Unless they reconstruct the license plate from this grainy video. But you're supposed to look both ways. And these idiots obviously didn't. I'd press it again to play it again, but they'll pop up either a pop-up ad or another commercial. I'm not going to do that. You've seen enough. And but once again, you see bad reporting. Scroll down, it just says it's all from the perspective of this all-American bar owner who's owned this bar for 5 years now. You know, bar owners are the best on the up and up. You know, his name is Chianet Sam. Already right there. That's not even American. I mean, what is that? And this bar, you know, just this is like a huge cover up for a bigger problem. It says Sam, the owner of the bar. At least that's what I'm thinking I'm reading. He also works for Verizon. No wonder why Verizon sucks so much. He works for Verizon, but he also owns a bar. Okay, that makes a whole lot of sense. But you never can tell with this particular news site. They are known for not only typos, but just bad information. Who knows where they got this information from? Yeah, it does say the owner of the bar. He's the owner of the bar, and he also works as an engineer for Verizon. Okay, whatever. I mean, just look at them. The one gets across. I have no idea how the third one wasn't smacked. But the other one, you never see him look back the other way. And that is not a... You can use the cars for perspective. And I know that's... The camera is like distorting it. But really, you can see a lot of parking. But you can see the width of those cars. And sort of the width of the street and how big, those are adult males, I guess, in the street. And you can tell that, it's a car length. That's all you have to pass. But all you have to do is tilt your head to the left and the right and then the left and then calculate. But people wonder why I complain. It's not just idiots who don't know how to walk across the street. It's the idiots behind the wheels of cars who have no trouble creaming him like a dummy. He looks like a dummy. He looks like some of the Three Stooges when the gorilla's like throwing the dummy around. I mean, this is what goes on in this city all the time. Because people are just checked out. Checked out at the wheel. They're checked out when they're walking across the street. So don't give me your BS from your stupid Hickville down in Tennessee or wherever you are. Complaining about, yelling at automobiles and complaining about trucks. Passing me at close distances. Just spare me the nonsense. I'm very careful, and I don't go out of my way to go hurt people. But I also am very cognizant when I'm crossing the street, and especially at night. Really, there should have been no problem for them passing. You don't see another cop pass unless you're on video. So, or if you do, I can't remember the beginning of the video. I'm not going to press it again. But you're not going to see too many cars in this particular small city, despite the fact there's, 95,000 people, 96,000 people supposedly living here, and there's about 40,000 illegal aliens, and many other visitors buying drugs. Because there's no tourist trade here. That's a given. But at these late hours, it generally becomes very dead. In another hour from then, extremely dead. That is a main street. That is a big street. And there are bars that are open very late. And this is a very ghetto city. But I guarantee these people walking across the street are very ghetto themselves. It's probably one of their cousins, their illegal cousins, hitting them. But, that's how it goes. But you have to look both ways. But you also have to realize those people behind cars. Because I get all these internet tough guys from other parts of the country and other parts of the world where it's a little different, and they're under the thumb of the queen or whatever, and so they have their opinions about what is safe to pass someone. I suppose many of the schmucks, and that's what they are, they're schmucks or schleps. Use a few silly Jewish words, Yiddish words or whatever. The guy second in line, third in line, the one that doesn't get hit, I expect you think that was safe distance in passing. Not that I'm excusing jaywalking. Because if you're going to cross the street like that with traffic coming on, the way that they're moseying along, you want to run across. It would take hardly any second. Oh, you wait for that car to go by. Chances are there's not another car coming. Guess what? You can wait. But if you're going to go across, you don't mosey along like, he's just going to stop for me. No, he's not going to stop. He's going to whack you. And, but this is a good case in point of what goes on in this city. And most people don't understand it. And stupidity from both sides of the aisle, so to speak. And both sides of the road. And you either get it or you don't get it. I'm very careful. I do all my any sort of chores or anything like errands earlier in the day. I don't wait until this late in the day to go fooling around with these idiots. Once they get out of bed, get messed up and start driving around. Or the ones who are getting messed up, who definitely went into that bar, as the bartender said, no, these aren't troublemakers, they just stayed in here a few time. Yeah. They were in there to do something else. They were only in there a short time. They probably weren't just getting a drink. Probably something else. Well, if it was a drink, they didn't like the drink because it was watered down. But, whatever. That just showed you can't trust anyone.